First of all, I have meant to be filming this video for so long now. I know that there are a few of you that have kind of been wondering where I am or asking questions, and I keep saying I'm going to make this video and I haven't. I had filmed a video, I accidentally deleted it. It was very upsetting, and that was a few weeks ago, and now I'm finally getting around to filming what I meant to film a long time ago. Before I really start this video, let's just take a look at my head because I don't have full regrowth. There are still parts that are still working to grow, parts that don't have pigment, and parts that are very fine. There are no bald parts of my head, so I was about 99% bald, maybe 95 technically. I had this little patch of hair at Christmas time, and that was the only hair that was on my head. Now I have all of my hair back. Some of it's back to my regular hair. Some of it's still like a newborn baby's hair, like, you know, when it doesn't have a lot of pigment and it's very thin and it just lays on top of the head. And it does take so long for that to turn into hair. Up until a few months ago, I don't even know how it happens, but it happens, and that's the good part, right? So I had been wearing my wig every day, well, 5 days a week, to work for about 3 months. And during that time was when I was completely bald. The reasons vary from it being very cold, to me being a little self-conscious while working at the salon, to just wanting to get through my day-to-day and just fit in and not have the questions all the time. Because everybody, I think, with alopecia knows there are so many questions, and most people mean so well, but sometimes you just gotta get through your days without them so that you can focus on your job and focus on your life and what's going on. And so I was wearing my wig a lot. And then I went to Mexico at the end of February, and I thought I'd be doing so many physical things. I didn't want to lose my wig or ruin it, and I didn't want to be taking it off and putting it on and keeping track of it. Well, it was also a little bit because I did want to get used to myself again with the way I naturally looked, because I did feel like I was becoming a little bit more reliant on my wig, and that was not a point that I personally wanted to get to, but I had kind of found my way there. And so I had left it at home. During that week I got a lot of regrowth. It again was the newborn baby peach fuzz, just kind of in patches all over my head, and it just seemed to appear out of nowhere. I had made a decision with myself shortly after coming home from Mexico that, well, a lot of things happened right after Mexico. It was like a big watershed moment in my life, and so I decided April 1st I will no longer wear a wig. And so this was like at the start of March, and I said April 1st, no longer wearing a wig. So I haven't worn one since then, and it's been great. I found that my hair was growing a lot. I think the friction, stopping the friction on it helped, because the other thing I was finding was all of this hair started growing, and this wasn't like just peach fuzz, like not hair, but just peach fuzz started growing here, but these were all bald, like, you know, your bald patches. And so I felt this is where the least amount of friction on a wig is, but it just rubs up here. And so I realized I needed to put it aside. And as I had said, I wanted to feel comfortable in my as my natural self again. So once I started doing that, I did notice a big difference. Again, it was getting nicer outside. I think vitamin D does help a lot. Like, I wasn't taking vitamin D, but as far as the sunshine goes and exposure to like just fresh air and things like that, I think were really helping. I was in a really good state of mind, and I think I had finally come to accept that alopecia wasn't who I was, that it might, I think even the thought that it might be going away promoted such a stress relief for me that it was kind of this weight off my shoulder, and I think that kind of helped it grow back, because I don't think mine fell out because of stress, but I don't think stress helped, and I think maybe stress from it falling out made more fall out, but who knows. I wasn't eating gluten for over a year, and I think that does help. I did a lot of research before I stopped eating gluten, and it's so funny how many of you guys always message me and suggest it. So I've been off of gluten since like the start of July 2013. I miss it sometimes, but not really as much as you'd think. And I had just read so much about how it aggravates autoimmune disorders, which is what alopecia is. So I really didn't want it getting in the way. So I won't say that this is what made my hair grow back, but the things in my life that have changed since I started to lose my hair to when it started growing back was that I was a lot less stressed. I was very happy. I wasn't eating gluten. I was eating a lot healthier in general. I meditate from time to time when I'm stressed or I feel I'm not getting enough sleep. I do meditate. That's what has changed. I stopped wearing my wig. I'm not saying this is going to help you. I don't think it will really. Or for some of you it might. I think it's just a strange mixture of things and it's going to grow back or it's not and it'll figure its way out. But I mean, anything you can do to help it is good. I find that I can be a little more insecure these days than I was even a few months ago. I find that because when you look at me face forward, it does just look normal. It looks like I'm just a girl that has a really short pixie cut, and then I have to turn around at some point and you see my bald spot that isn't actually bald, but it looks bald when you're just looking at it, and not that many people are like right up close like inspecting it. And so I do feel like it has the 40-year-old man effect when you're looking at it. There's something comforting about right when someone saw me, I would know that they would know that something was off, rather than talking to them and then feeling like I was surprising them when they saw the back of my head. And that does make me a little self-conscious. I don't know. If my hair were to fall out again, I'd be pretty upset. But I know that I could live through it. Like, I know I could just do it. And that's what makes me feel content. Like, that's what makes me feel comfortable.